Well, guys, it is supposedly going to be 25 to 20 tonight, somewhere in that neighborhood, according to our warnings. And supposedly the night is going to be 20 or less. So this will be the coldest this new old place has gotten since we've lived in it. So lining up all the heaters and getting ready, and going to be running off to Wally World later to exchange some propane. So we're going to take it through another trial by cold, I suppose, and we'll see what happens. And I guess I'll let y'all know tomorrow or the next day. Actually, we're going to have 3 days of sub-freezing according to Weather Channel reports. Very strange, freakish weather considering how warm it had been up until now. We've been seeing temperatures in the 40s and mid to upper 30s, and then all of a sudden this thing comes. But you could feel it outside. There's a difference in the way things are when you know the weather's going to get cold. You know, when you know it's on the way. And it feels that way, so I usually take some of the weather reports with a grain of salt, but in this case, I don't doubt it. The things that you feel in the environment are saying otherwise. That things are going to be colder than they usually are, and much, much colder. I looked at the weather report. As far south as South Houston, they're saying hard freeze in the 20s. Of course, where we'll be having 3 days of sub-freezing, they'll probably only get 2. But, you know, that you can't help. That's latitudes, you know. We're further north. So, we'll see what happens. Usually when you get down in the 20s, if you have any precipitation, you can have ice. And with ice, you get pop transformers. So, going out in a little bit, gonna crank up my little HF generator, make sure everything's working, and I got a heater I can run at half power if I have to on it, and we will have propane. At the very least, we'll have lights and heat. So just getting all our players in place, reorganize all these little bitty heaters. We've never taken the house this cold, so I don't know what these little electric heaters are going to be able to do. They're all right in the 30s if you have a good blanket, you know, but haven't tried them in the 20s except for the upper 20s. So this will be a good experiment. We'll learn a lot from this. And we have family around, so I'm not worried about us getting too cold over here. There's places we can go if we have to, but you know, you just don't want your pipes to freeze up. Got to trickle the water. Other than that, I think we're good. Looks like a lot of y'all out there are going to be going through the same thing if you live in the Midwest to the Upper East. It's insane. It's insane how cold the weather is. But I guess January, it's kind of to be expected. January to February usually are coldest months. December, November, kind of, but usually the real cold doesn't come until January and February. So, we'll see what happens. You know, all we can do is sit back, and anything interesting happens, I'll film it. If not, I'll put a video up the next day. But this one's going up tonight, provided we have power to send it up. So like I said, this is the coldest I've ever been in here, and I don't know what things are going to do. I know in spring, where I lived, anytime you got weather like this, if you had even a trace of rain, the transformers would start popping, all kinds of things like that. And we've got some backup power. We have a solar battery on this side over here that can carry us a pretty good ways. It's also tied into the house via transfer switch. We have a small generator that'll keep the lights and fridges running if we have to, and you know, if worst case scenario, it'll at least keep a heater running half heat. It's kind of caught us with our pants down. Wasn't expecting this, so. But that's how it's going. And we're just going to sit tight, bundle up. I hope all of y'all sit tight. I hope everybody stays warm tonight, and y'all have a good evening. And we'll talk at you either a little later or in the morning or, whenever. So, going off to the dark side of the moon, everybody. Keep in touch. Well, I just got in, and it's been a couple hours since I made that recording, maybe a little over an hour and a half. Temperature is dropping by the minute. It was like it was 50 when I stepped out there, which wasn't bad. But now it's getting cold, and it's getting cold fast. I'd say it's upper 30s, lower 40s now. I believe that we are going to beat the Weather Channel's estimate as to when it's going to bottom out. And maybe we're going to beat their bottom temperature. I don't know. I think we may go below. Went and got some propane. The last bottle on the rack. I'll never make the mistake of not doing that in advance ever again. And one of the bad things about getting the last bottle is when you get the last bottle, you pay for it, because usually the last bottle left is at the highest price place there is. So got that handled anyway. Spent a little more than I wanted to, about $5, somewhere in that neighborhood, 4 or 5. But at least if the lights go out, we got emergency heat now, and test fired the generator, and that's all running. So we got backup power if we need it, and I'm fixing to switch on the solar power and make sure the battery's still up to snuff, and see if it'll carry. And I think we're good as far as that goes. Everything else holding together, but man, is that wind howling out there. Yeah, it cuts through your clothes like a knife. And anyway, guess that's it. Add to this as needed or as warranted. Take care. Well, guys, it's 3:15 now. Temperature's 28 degrees. This is probably going to be the last one that I shoot, part of this video. We're pretty much running water all the time now, and I'm keeping the water moving through the pipes and checking everything. So far, so good. No power failures. No precipitation to cause them, so things are doing well. As you can probably tell, I'm quite a bit more tired than I was. I've been taking care of some housekeeping and the like while I've been doing all this, since I'm having to be up anyway. But things are going pretty well. Kitty is doing okay. It hasn't quite gotten cold enough to bother her yet, and she seems to be okay. Living on coffee right now, and watching the animals and the pipes and the plants and the power. And the experiment continues. The temperature continues to drop. We've got quite a few more hours. It'll continue to drop until about maybe 7 o'clock, and then it'll start back up. But I don't think we're going to get above, probably won't even get above 40 tomorrow, and then we're going to plunge back down into the deep cold the next day. So before my bandwidth cap is popped back on, I'm going to upload very soon this video. If anything else happens, I'll get it and put it on here, but so far uneventful. It's a lot colder than I expected. The heaters are... Oh, that was the other thing. We lost a heater. Smell of burning wires. One of our heaters decided that it was going to burn the wire off the heating elements, so I had to go to one of my fan-forced heaters up in the living room, and I don't know if that's helping or hindering. I'm still trying to figure out which ones work the best. The old zigzag type with forced air behind them, or just the plain fan-forced. So we're watching that. So if I don't shoot any more, y'all have a good evening and a good morning, YouTube.